Yo, welcome back. So let's dive right in, bro. So the thing with fitness, right, and what people don't understand is there's going to be consequences along the way. There's going to be some consequences along the way, more so negative than positive, if you actually think about when I break this down more. But I don't want you, I don't want this to be something where you look at and being like, oh, let me cut off my journey. No, no, no. This is just this video is just to ensure you of and make you be aware of what's going on, what the true meaning behind these certain behaviors are, and how you can have awareness for yourself to make sure you're on the right path and you're going along this journey being congruent and being aligned with the person that you want to become as you get fit, as you get in shape, as you acquire the physique that you desire for yourself, not for anyone else, but yourself. So for the guys who are already in this, you're gonna already know what I'm talking about. But for the guys who don't, right? What I want you to understand is kind of seeing what changes along the journey that you're on in terms of socially, emotionally, mentally, and just having you be aware of those things so that it doesn't steer you the wrong way. But let me go over in terms of the first thing you'll notice along this journey, right? And one of the first things that people will do along your fitness journey when it comes to changing up certain things, such as your diet, tracking, understanding macros, all this stuff, right? People will try to project their insecurities onto you, making slight comments such as, like, relax, bro. Oh, you don't need to take it serious. Oh, going to the gym again? All they're really saying to you is your discipline makes them like for them not being on point with the shit that you're doing, their lack of discipline, ambition, goal driven, all they're saying really with those comments is your discipline, your desire to achieve this goal makes me uncomfortable. So let me find every way to derail you off this path. That's all they're saying. That's all it is. So just being aware of that and understanding that your greatness makes them uncomfortable, you just have to understand that, like, all they're doing is projecting their insecurities. That's all it is. So there's nothing wrong that you're doing. And if anything, you're not doing this to one up them, because the start of the journey was simply just to improve yourself and finding different ways that you haven't been doing that's been keeping you stuck. That's all you have to be aware of. And that's usually the part that throws people the most off. Why? Because it comes from people such as family, friends, people you hang around. That's where usually all those comments come from. So it throws you off because you're thinking like, well, if I'm doing this to improve myself, wouldn't my closest peers and family be more supportive of that? That's the thing. That's the thing. That's the thing that throws most people off. Maybe throws you off right now. But it's simply because it comes from people that that have been around you most of your life. And seeing those subtle changes makes them uncomfortable. Another thing to be aware of, especially when it comes to just understanding along your fitness journey, is once you get fit, you can't unsee like the things that come along with it in terms of maybe even foods, right? You start eating correctly, you start seeing how everyone's been eating around you, and this is gonna force you, especially in the very beginning, it's gonna when you're trying to change your diet, this is gonna force you to say no. But then I want you to analyze how many times you have to say no through certain dinners, through certain family gatherings, all this stuff. And understand, when you see that, you have to understand that that changes your viewpoint in terms of how people eat, how people eat. And what this does basically is it isolates you, because now it's just like you're on this journey by yourself. You're seeing how, like, what's incorrect, what's correct, how people let themselves go. And and again, it brings it back to my other point, the point I made before. It usually comes from people that you love, that you want to see do good, honoring that friendship and just throwing some helpful advice. But it comes with that. It comes with you seeing that the certain behaviors of how unhealthy people go about their day, their eating patterns, all this stuff. But with that comes another bigger issue, because now this is where guys, especially when it comes to fitness, comes to an isolation. You know, now they're just make the gym their whole personality, right? Because then they go like, oh well, I'm eating right, they're wrong, you know, and I'm just like, fuck everyone. And sorry if you guys see me like tapping, I'm just trying to close, my phone's on battery, so I'm gonna try to make this video quick. But you know, they see you doing this, you see them doing this, and then your natural reaction would be like, oh well, fuck this, bro, fuck this. Like, but it's like, no, both reactions are reactions. So they're it's not coming from a sense of being grounded, you know, because you got to understand, like, this journey is all for you. This journey is all for you. So you can't force it upon other people to change that for themselves. But there's two ways people can look at it. They can look at you being on top of your shit as motivation, or they can simply just hate and decide. But that already comes along with it. And once you're aware of that, you know how to steer away, you know how to separate yourself. And that's something I had to do, guys. You know, like, especially when it comes to eating clean, all this diet, like, this is a big issue within even my family, because they're seeing me eat a certain way. And the judgment comes and all that stuff, you know, me scaling my food and all that stuff. Like, I know it comes. Me, I didn't give a shit, because I don't look at it from a sense of, oh, like, everyone needs to eat this way. Like, no, if you want to, go ahead, and I can teach you things in terms of what I know and that you can implement. But I'm not gonna judge you if you don't take the advice or don't do it yourself. Because me, I understand that this stuff is hard. It's a whole lifestyle change, you know, and that's how I want you to look at it as well. Don't feel the need that, like, you have to correct everyone, and now you're making the whole gym your personality, and if that person do it, then they suck. Like, no, like, you gotta view it in a sense of, like, I'm doing this to achieve my goal, because I know this will get me to be the version that I respect for myself, the version that, you know, puts my raises my standards, and the person that I need to become. And that's it. And whoever is around and sees my level of dedication, for the ones who are inspired, those are the ones I'm going to um those are the ones I can naturally help, because I came from a place that they're at right now, you know, in the sense of struggling, understanding things. And I was someone who was. So now that I'm in this position, I can naturally help that person out, because I know what it's like to be confused and all that stuff. But you never want to go into the direction where you think like, you know, you make this shit your whole personality, and then, like, you know, you just disregard everything else, you know, because then that's a sense of ego. Now you think you're better than everyone, when you got to realize, like, why you even stuck to this journey to begin with, to be aligned with the person that you want to be, to acquire the goals that you set for yourself. That's all it is. And this is where we can talk about attention, because this is another thing that changes as you get your physique, as you get right shape. You know, attention is going to come. Now, there's going to be different forms of it, but this is where you have to understand that for yourself, for you, the danger that you have to be aware of is that with the attention you gain and garner, then comes, you know, the attention and behavior of certain people. Now, with certain people and all this stuff, like, you have to realize that if you're not completely secure within yourself, those insecurities that other people may have can leak out through you, even with a great physique. This is why it's like, you can have a great physique. You can have a great physique, but the only thing that physique is going to do for you, if you haven't worked on anything internal, is just going to amplify those insecurities. So if you're not secure with yourself and you get a great physique, those insecurities are just going to leak out more. They're going to be known present. So going back to my earlier point, if you're just that dude who thinks they're better, everyone's trash, and, you know, you're better than them because you eat better and all this stuff, and all that's saying to anyone around you is the gym is your identity, and but you're still the same piece of shit that you were, like, along this journey. You're still the same motherfucker who puts people down. You didn't really do this shit to work on yourself. You didn't improve in anything other than just the physique. But it only amplifies, bro. It only amplifies. And, like, I'll give you an example, right? Along my fitness journey, I've worked with bodybuilders, And to be honest, guys, those as uh as people commonly say, those are going to be the nicest dudes that you ever meet. They'll push you in the right way, in the right direction in terms of improving when it comes to the gym and stuff. And those are, I find, the most like warm-hearted, like trustworthiest people. But then there's other dudes with pretty good physiques, but their whole personnel and just how people, like the level of how they treat people, says a lot more than that physique. So I didn't really explain my example, but yeah, working out with bodybuilders throughout my life, which kind of like encouraged me to kind of have it as my lifestyle. All the people I trained with were always humble, great, gave me great advice, pushed me to even to be the type that even at the gym, like they all respect, like it's nothing but respect. It was never anything but respect. But I remember one time, bro. I remember one time being at the bar, when I was working at the bar and stuff, and I saw this dude, you know what I'm saying? And for me, there's two ways you're gonna look at it from individuals who are in shape. And this can say a lot about you yourself, but for me, even at the gym, bro, I'm not the biggest dude, but I've worked on my physique enough to get appreciation from others. But every time I'm in the gym, I don't look at the dude bigger than me and being like, oh damn, or try to size him up or any of that shit. Nah, fuck that. How I look at it and how I always looked at it was a sense of inspiration. Like, man, dude, this guy killed it, bro. Whether it's steroids, all that stuff, it's just like, bro, like I could admire, I can respect the discipline, his frame, all that stuff. I always looked at it from a sense of appreciation and motivation to fucking push me, whether it's through that session or just in general. And I remember I saw this individual at the bar, right? And like I was like, man, you in shape, bro? Like, hey, kudos. Like, I was like, bro, what time you work out, bro? Like, and he was telling me like, oh, I go early morning and stuff like that. And I was like, yo, like, let me know, bro. Like, let's exchange numbers, bro. Let's hit a lift sometimes. And my boy just laughed at me, bro. My boy just laughed at me, straight up. And it wasn't in a sense of just like, damn, bro. Like he was really looking like it came from a sense of like, nah, I'm all set, bro. Nah, I'm good. Like I was beneath him. All, straight up. Me just go approaching it positive. There's no animosity, bro. I was like, hey, bro, like, yo, great physique, bro. Like, I fuck with the discipline. Oh, you wake up early? I was telling him, yo, I do too, Like, obviously, I'm at the job, so it's like, in terms of waking up early and all that stuff, like it would fuck up my sleep, but I'm still down, bro. For every motherfucker that trained with me or see my work ethic in the gym, know that like I'm about that early wake up. But this dude just simply laughed at me. Just discarded it. He's like, nah, I'm good. Like I was beneath him. But those are so bringing it back to the whole point of this, it's like the insecurity is only just going to be projected, and like you can have a great physique, but I'm telling you, bro, no one wants to be around you. No motherfucker wants to be around that shit, thinking that they're fucking tough, thinking that you like that you're beneath them. That goes for anybody, bro. No one wants to be around that shit. But again, it'll say if you don't fix shit inside of you, bro, the physique, the physique is only gonna amplify those insecurities within yourself, man. So I went on a tangent right there, man. But overall, bro, the dark truths about getting fit, right? You have to understand that this not only exposes the people around you, but exposes you a lot more too, And if you're not aware of this, this will have you mentally confused, going back and forth with your own self without realizing these the reasons why through what I've just explained. So just be aware, what I'm saying? Like it's not only the way people treat you, but it's also like you as a person, like it's either amplified in a good sense or still in a sense of ego, a sense of ego, a sense of pride, thinking you're better than everyone, making the gym your whole personality. And that shit rubs off on people, bro. More times than not in a negative way. So that's just something you want to be aware of. But that's all I had to say for this video, man. If you found some value, be sure to comment down below. But other than that, I'll be back with the next video sometime soon.